Live.
Salad, what's hot? Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper and go get it.
It's my home's house. And it is good. Woo! Arrowhead man. The Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection. You gotta fight for your right to party.
Ooh, that intro still gets me going every time. Let's go.
Every time. Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's Chiefs Kingdom Live. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, while you're here, real quick, click or tap that like, click or tap that subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a Chiefs fan, tell them to tell some more Chiefs fans. Help spread the word. We appreciate it. Got a good show tonight after a big win over the Miami Dolphins in Frankfurt, Germany. We're rolling without Nick tonight. Not sure if he's going to be able to jump in here later and make the end of the show or at some point, but stuck with Bo and I.
Wrap it up, Nick. Wrap it up. Let's go.
What's the old saying? While the cat's away, the mice will play or something like that. So Bo and I are going to go off the rails tonight, baby. It's going to get wild, but
it's going to get weird. It's going to get weird.
Before we get into it, Bo, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Had a crazy week. Like shortly after our show last week. I mean, really shortly after our show, my back seized up on me, and I was down on the couch for about 4 days, man. Just not moving, hating life, right? And finally started getting up and agile. Has been able to get out the past couple days. Got some Kansas City barbecue in me, and right as rain as soon as I got some ribs, right? So, no, dude. Other than being laid on the couch for the past couple days. It's been really good, man. I love victory weeks. Hard fought game. Cool, amazing game, right? Like our offense kind of stalled, but still just such a fun game to watch. I remember one of the most memorable texts in our group chat was Nick sending a text that just said, "I'm so happy right now." And it's just like, yeah, me too, dude. Me too. So yeah, man. How are you doing?
I'm glad to hear you're doing better, man.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I hope everybody in the chat's doing good. It looks like we got John C. and Brenda and Lainey. Lainey says she's not watching anymore. If Nick's not on here, we need to figure out how to get Nick out of the show every week so that
he is the face.
So she'll stop watching. But got our man Brian Bills there, it looks like, in the chat. Good to see you all already. He misses Nick too. So we're going to have to limp along here.
In the chat.
Everybody comes on the show. Shippy's in the house. Good to see you, Shippy. I saw Shippy got subbed, it looked like, and was tweeting about the giveaway. How many followers, how many subscribers is it now, Bo?
Dude, we're like 20, right there. 20, 22, somewhere right there, man. Yeah. About 20-ish. Giving away some jerseys, giving away some good KC swag here on Chiefs Game Live.
Nick and Bo got all the goods here for this giveaway we're going to do when we get to that 500 subscriber mark, and we're getting close. So, like I said there at the intro, tell some friends, tell family, get people to subscribe, man. We want to give this stuff away. We've been sitting on it all season, so looking forward to that. I've been good. Been doing real good. Just enjoying this nice mild weather here this week. It kind of warmed up again a little bit. And
I'm wearing shorts right now.
Doing good. Yeah, I was worried about you a little bit. For those of you who might not have known or missed it here, Bo's in KC for the remainder of the football season. He's here in the heart of Chiefs Kingdom, and we were talking about getting together for that Sunday morning game, and I didn't hear from Bo, and I was like, well, maybe he had a late Saturday night or something because it was an early game. But Bo was down and out, but he hey.
The nice thing about being on the couch is I didn't miss a second of the game, right? Because it was just right there. It's like, all right, well, at least the TV's here, sleeping here, and I'll be wide awake for this game. So
yeah. The CKL training staff, medical staff got Bo up and going. He didn't miss a show, so appreciate the hard work.
Shout out
there.
to them.
Shout out to
the whole race car there.
Get him back up and running. But yeah, let's just talk about this game, man. Chiefs beat the Dolphins 21-14. Dude, that's just like a classic old school football score, man. 21-14. No,
right? Just like gridiron
field goals,
right there.
No kickers. Enough defense to to talk about, but still some scoring and some exciting plays. So
Great way
an
to put it.
all-around good game. The fans in Germany got to be feeling thrilled about that game, right, Bo?
Dude, hats off to the fans in Germany, dude. Singing the chop like way better than most
Yeah.
drunk American fans do it, all off cue. And everything. These fans are used to singing, man. They were on point, on cue. Yeah,
they
shout out
had
to
it.
Germany fans. They showed up. They even
Yeah.
did the home of the Chiefs. That was
Right.
awesome. See a red kind of said that last week, but yeah, man, that was awesome to see.
Yeah, we're seeing Chiefs Kingdom in full effect and full force out there, and in Europe at Eurohead, as they are calling the Frankfurt Stadium now. They had the championship.
I like it.
The championship out there with the it was like, did you see that ship that was just wrapped with all the Chiefs shit? It was badass. There's people posting like a Burger King out there that was completely just all decked out Chiefs. Need to figure out how we can get one of those here.
Dude, that's how I feel like moving to Kansas City, though, right? I go to the grocery store. There's like Frito Lays with Kansas City, everything.
Yep.
Travis Kelce's on the Doritos sign, right?
Yep.
Like Nick Bolton's catching a ball over like the meat display. I'm just like, what's going on here? Go to the liquor store. They have gold-plated champagne Chiefs bottles.
Yep.
Just like, this is awesome. Like it was just like what you were describing in Germany. Like I'm sorry,
Right.
still loving living here, but no, yeah, Germany was the same way. They decked it out too.
Yeah, no, and as someone who's traveled a lot of cities, like you have, Bo, when you go other places, I mean, you see signs around town, maybe a poster or something here or there. You do not see any other city has got as much Chiefs shit up around town. Dude,
You don't see any.
you got the side of buildings painted here, buses, street cars, like you were talking about the grocery store. Everywhere you go, people got Chiefs painted on the side of their shed. Nobody represents the hometown team.
Dude,
Like,
so hard. Yeah, it's everywhere. Like I said, the grocery stores, the gas station pump handles,
right.
like you name it. Like you're just seeing Chiefs. It's so. I feel at home. I just feel at home. It's so great, especially like I said, being from the Southwest, where it's just saturated with Broncos and Cowboys, everything everywhere. Right? It's so nice to just come here and race car, and I love going thrift shopping. So we did a little bit of that today. You go to the thrift store and you like all this vintage like Chief stuff like I had growing up, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And everybody's like, this is junk. You're like, no, this is gold.
Right. Yeah, I think
my wallet's not going to survive this town. I don't think, man.
Right. When Tyrann Mathieu first got to town, he went around to some thrift shops and got himself some old vintage throwback KC Chiefs gear. So yeah, definitely a town that loves their Chiefs. Frankfurt, we're calling it Eurohead over there now, the new stadium. It looks like they're Chiefs crazy over there. Hey, man, having Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce helps that. Real quick, going back to the old Albuquerque days, remember the three favorite teams out there were the Cowboys, the Broncos, and whoever had won the Super Bowl the year before. That was all the gear you saw out there. That was all the gear that you saw. I remember after Green Bay won that Super Bowl with Brett Favre, went to school that following year, and there's like 20 people with Green Bay Packers jackets. Freaking New Mexico. Where'd all these Packers fans come from?
That's the beauty of New Mexico, right? There's no professional team there, so everybody gets to pick a team, and so you get such a good, diverse group of fans where you kind of have to like know the ins and outs of a little bit of most teams to just kind of like even just converse in that town. That's what I kind of like about it.
Yeah, our man John C's giving Bo props on the man cave.
It's coming together. Cheers.
I'm gonna have to step my game up here, man. Bo's catching up to me here, making
bro. My lighting, I can't get my lighting like yours. How do you do, dude? You got some professional lights there, dude. That's well done. Whoever built your house, hats off to them.
Better to be lucky than good. So, yeah, let's just get into it a little bit. Overall, how are you feeling in that watching the game against the Dolphins?
Mixed emotions, man. Obviously, right? It's one of those games where like, yes, and then at the end, no. I don't know. You see all these talking heads on TV talking about, is it panic time? Is it worry? Oh, look who we got here.
Oh, well.
Welcome, sir. We were just getting into the game.
Oh, yeah? Sorry, I didn't have time to get my stuff set up. I just got home.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're good.
No, you're welcome anytime, buddy. What are you talking about?
I mean, you had another hour to kind of get shit set up. You could have taken 5 or 10 minutes and got shit presentable a little bit, but it's all good. We'll let it slide this time.
I mean, I can just drop off,
No, you're good. Everybody in the chat was missing you, man. Most popular guy on CKL somehow, some way.
Yeah,
He's the looks. He's the looks. That's for sure.
Thank God for people with poor taste, huh?
Right.
I push the buttons. Nick's the looks. Scott's the brains. We make it work.
My looks. I can't even tell if my hair looks weird or not. So
yeah, I'm not sure what I am, but looks like we got JT's in the house. Good to see you, JT. Thanks for swinging by, bro. Nikki, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So just got back to the house. Stoked. We won a game in Germany.
Das Guten.
I did have you guys pulled up, Bo. Yeah, I do remember texting very specifically going, I'm so happy.
I was too. It was such a fitting text. It was just like, yep, nailed that. Nailed it.
Oh, after that play, I was just like screaming at the top of my lungs, and I looked over at my daughter. I was like, I'm sorry. That was really loud. I couldn't help it. So.
Yeah.
All right, Bo, back to you. How just overall feelings and thoughts on the game before we break it down here?
No, yeah, sure. Let me give it the defense, obviously, right? I think that's kind of like the biggest talking point takeaway from this game is I think we have the best defense in football. I mean, arguably top 3, but I mean, I'll sit here and argue all day that we have the best defense in football. We held the number 1 receiver in the NFL to 60, 63, 65 yards, something like that. Hell of an accomplishment on that side. The strip fumble for the touchdown, icing on the cake for that half. I mean, I was looking back at this point last year. I think we'd just beaten the Titans. We had a comeback victory. We were down the whole game, and Mahomes led us on a pretty epic drive to come back against the Titans, which we were down all game. And so I was kind of getting down on myself after the second half of this game, just like, man, our offense really didn't show out. And then I went back and looked. I was like, whoa, we didn't come back from a game, right? Like we just kind of let our foot off the gas. And that's kind of been our complaint for going on 2 seasons now. It's like, man, we just cannot get this team to step on the other team's throat and like really seal the deal and just go do it. If that's by design or not, I don't know. I have some grievances with the coaching and the play calling, but you don't want to give the enemy too much tape. So I kind of feel like it is by design that our offense just kind of sputters out towards ending games. But yeah, overall defense, hell of a game. We'll get into it more, but that's my big takeaway. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, the defense being for real. My big takeaway was that we traded away Tyreek Hill, and then one of the players we ended up getting with the picks and trading up in the first round was Trent McDuffie, and he made the big play on the guy we traded to essentially being the difference in the game. So that was a kind of apropos, right? So yeah, but I agree, right? It's just the defense. I'll be honest, like one of my other takeaways was like I enjoyed that game, but I kind of left it feeling like we're in trouble, a little bit. Like, I mean, we had less than 70 yards or less than 60 yards of offense in the second half against the Dolphins, who defensively haven't been that great this year. So, I guess the secondary takeaway is as great as our defense is playing, our offense is significantly struggling. So.
Yeah, it was just overall thoughts on the game for me were tale of 2 halves, man. Like tale of 2 halves, feeling good. Offense was they come out and they have a statement drive to start and they're scoring points and we're feeling good. And it's 21-0 at half. And then somehow here we are at the end of the game, biting our fingernails, hanging on, right? Just hang on, defense.
Good old Chiefs football.
3rd and 10, just 2 more plays, defense, please. That
was your tweet, wasn't it? Like 2 more. So, all right, 1 more.
Yeah. Frustrations were running high in my house too. The officiating, we'll get to that here, but Let's just kind of talk about the game more in depth and break down some of the big plays. Chiefs come out and they march the ball right down the field and have a 7-play, 75-yard touchdown drive.
You said it's statement play.
And then the defense gets a 3-and-out, I want to say, or maybe the Dolphins picked up one first down there, but force a punt. Chiefs get the ball back, and you're thinking after that first drive, man, they have a chance to go down here and make this a 2-score game right out of the chute.
Instantly. Yeah.
And then it was kind of like a defensive battle. I don't know. We've talked about the wide receivers on this team. It feels like ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum. Oh, dang.
I mean, look, there's people saying that Patrick's having a down year and he's making bad decisions with the ball and he's not seeing these open guys. Well, we put out a stat on the Chiefs Kingdom Live X account, formerly Twitter. If you're not following us there, you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Chiefs Kingdom Live. Patrick Mahomes has 10 400-plus yard passing games in his career. MVS, Kadarius Toney, and Sky Moore have 7 combined 100-yard receiving games. Patrick is not the problem here. Okay, so when the offense goes into hibernation, he had time to pass. He was standing back there.
Yeah.
And there's several times where I'm yelling at him, just run, man. Just take off and run with the damn ball. But Patrick, you can tell, doesn't want to just be sitting there running every other play and rushing 20 attempts, which I don't think you want to see out of Patrick.
No, that's how you get hurt, man. That's yeah.
The offense comes out and have that killer first drive, but then the wide receivers kind of disappear for the rest of the game, really, after that point. I mean, they had a decent 95-yard drive there to get another touchdown there a little bit later.
It's a bit of an asterisk, though. Decent 95-yard drive.
Yeah, but outside of that, there was really nothing. Bo, what's up with the offense? Is it fixable at this point with the wide receivers? Have the Dolphins given a blueprint on how to shut down Kelsey? Kelsey's got 2 or 3 guys on him, too, the entire first half, and guys still can't get open.
No, I completely agree. And going back to your first point, right? One of my biggest gripes last week was the O-line. I thought Patrick was scrambling and all this. I did not get that feeling whatsoever this game. I mean, yeah, he did have some pressure, but I mean, he's one of the most pressured QBs in all of the NFL. But yeah, hats off to the O-line. He had plenty of time. And so like I was sitting there just like baffled that like nobody was open, or I'm not sure what it was, but obviously wasn't throwing it. I had the same opinion as you. Hey man, just run. There's certainly plenty of opportunities where he does and he knows when to do it, right? And we saw that. And so 15's the man. I mean, I feel like we kind of glance over him because it's just such a given about how good he is, right? But you're talking about the defense kind of taking away Travis Kelce and giving a blueprint to the NFL about how you cover him now. And I think what this game, even though like in the Chiefs' eyes, it was an ugly win, what this game proved is that like you can take Travis Kelce away, but we're still going to win, right? Like our defense is good enough now. We can hate to say it, we can shoulder them a little bit. We were kind of wondering, where were they? Where does this defense kind of stand? Are they really what we think they are? And I think they are. And now they're on a bye week. We all know the stats coming off a bye week. An Andy Reid team coming off a bye week is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? And traditional spag defenses get better with time. So like I'm stoked at what this defense can be and is going to be in the latter part of the season, right? So, but like as far as taking Travis Kelce away, that's fine. We showed that we can win without him. Like I mean, Rashee Rice, amazing hands in the first half, right? We saw like you said, statement drives. We saw like really clutch receiving, really good run game, and then for some reason they just kind of veered off of that from the second half, or either Miami made the perfect adjustments to where we just couldn't get anything going. But not worried at all, man. I saw such flashes of brilliance that like I feel like the receivers, yeah, dude, it's just a matter of time. And like I said, this time last year we were talking about, do we even have a run game? I mean, Mahomes, he threw to 11 different receivers, but he had a hell of a passing game. But like that's what we're still seeing, that he still distributed the ball to 10 or 11 receivers this game. I mean, it was only 180 or 100 something yards passing, but still, I mean, I keep referring to last year because he threw for 400 and something yards and only scored 20 points. Right. So, I mean, it's like, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. If you got one part of your team like really struggling, it's going to show on the scoreboard. And luckily, like, the defense is stepping up this year. That's not the case where that's what we were talking about last year. But I'm not worried at all, man. I feel like solid minor improvements. Like we use the analogy of like water running over a rock, right? Over time, that'll just grind it right down. And I feel like that's what our offense is seeing, man. We saw such small, brilliant flashes on pointed drives, like you said, statement drives. That I wouldn't be worried at all. I'm really digging what I saw, even though it was pretty worrisome in the second half. We couldn't get anything together. I'm super confident in our staff's ability to right the ship and correct those little things. I mean, we didn't see the turnover battle or any of that kind of nonsense. So
I'm still worried about the wide receivers. I don't think the starting 3 receivers are good enough. Outside of Rashee Rice and occasional Justin Watson, big play here and there, Chiefs struggle to throw the ball and to pass the ball down the field.
That's
fair.
Saw
MVS had a play. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a little bit of you could have called interference there. It was a borderline on the deep pass, but he still should have caught it because the ball bounced around, and you fight for that ball and make the catch, man. Like, get out there and make the play. Look, I just don't – they're going to have to ride with what they got for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to bank on the defense. The defense, they blanked the Dolphins, who were the number 1 offense in the NFL for the first half of football. Held them to 0 points.
0 points.
It wasn't like the Dolphins were having like these good kind of sustained drives and then missing field goals, or the Chiefs were getting 2 or 3 turnovers in that first half. The defense was forcing punts, man. The Dolphins were
7 punts.
Dolphins were struggling to move the ball in the first half. That's an offense that put up 70 on the Denver Broncos earlier in the season.
Right.
Only team in the NFL averaging over 400 yards a game. Only NFL team averaging over 30 points a game. And the Chiefs shut them out in the first half. So, look, the defense is outstanding. But I just feel like the offense and with these wide receivers, they're asking too much out of the defense in these games. It's the NFL, and they're due for a game where they're going to blow up. And the Chiefs are going to have to win a shootout at some point, especially when you get into the playoffs. I just feel like there's going to be a time where you're going to have to score 28, 30, 31, 33 points to win. And Chiefs have proven they struggle with the wide receiving coordinator to move the ball down the field. Nick, what do you think about the wide receivers kind of in this last game? Kind of to be expected, what we've seen out of them with the way the season's gone. You see much room for improvement. What are you thinking, Shippy here? Asking about Rice. He's kind of been the one shining spot, him and Watson.
Yeah, I don't think they're not getting consistent play out of anybody, right? You see some good plays coming out of Rice. He obviously is really good when he's got the ball on his hands. But you can see the guys they're not getting separation, right? It's incredibly frustrating to watch because Patrick's getting time and there's just nobody open. So I think there's just an adjustment that they're going through as an offense right now. I think that they need to look at how teams are playing them, and they gotta figure out what plays are going to work, right? So look, I think that one of the probably underrated storylines is, we have a new offensive coordinator, and all of a sudden, like, we have like these huge offensive struggles. I know Matt Nagy's been with the team before. The offense is looking very and I'm not saying this isn't a knock on Mahomes because he doesn't look Alex Smithian, but it looks like that Alex Smithian offense that we used to have that would get in ruts, right? So like it just seems like there is something there that is lackluster with the offense, and I don't know if it's a talent thing. You see the talent with the guys, right? With like Rice, and you see Tony make some plays. So I don't exactly know what it is. I think they're still just trying to figure some stuff out. The good news is that they're trying to figure stuff out, and they're 7-2, and they're the 1 seed in the AFC. So.
Yeah, JT's point there I just put up He's like, first world problems over there. You guys are
Yeah,
bitching about
100%.
first place team. Meanwhile,
Yeah, no, that's my
like,
point. Like, I mean, we're like, only like a top 5 or top 6 offense now with a 7-2 team. So, I mean, it is first world problems, but it's super concerning, right? I mean, you got this feeling that like we're playing with fire with the offensive performance, and I'm not saying they're paper tigers because their defense is legit, man. You don't hold the Dolphins to 14 points, should have been 10, right? But a dumb penalty ended up getting 4 more points on the board, or it's not even that close of a game towards the end.
and that second touchdown came off a short.
Defense.
That second touchdown comes off a short.
Yeah, the short field
from Mahomes' fumble. So
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they essentially got a turnover, and then the Dolphins instantly in a 3rd and 20, right? Really kind of a no hope situation. We get a new life, boom, touchdown. I think next play. So look, we're a legit team. We're good. We're not like paper tigers or anything, but like the offensive production is incredibly alarming, right? So I mean, we'll see what it is. I think they're just. I don't think they're really calling plays that are to their strengths right now. I think that's it. I think they have guys make plays, but they're not calling an offense and having them do things that are playing to what they're good at or able to do.
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 games, the Chiefs' offense has struggled to score points on the Broncos' defense twice and the Miami Dolphins' defense, which are 2 of the bottom half, bottom third. Broncos were like last in a lot of defensive measurements, so it's not like the offense is struggling against. Oh, they ran up against a couple of good defenses and struggled to score. I mean, they're struggling to score against shitty defenses, right?
Dude,
Below
but
average.
we did that last year, right?
Defense.
Remember the Broncos, how terrible Russ Wilson was and everything on the Broncos last year? I mean, he was throwing balls into the dirt, and then he plays us and has like a career game, dude. Like for some reasons, teams just play us differently, right? Like, or we play down to them. Like it's definitely one of those things, and it's really notorious that we do that.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with Nick. He keeps cutting in and out on us here. So
His audio sounded a little strange.
I don't know if he's got technical difficulties or not, but I'm sure he'll probably pop back in here in a minute. But let's talk about, before we shift gears and talk about the defense, the running game, especially there was a play late in the game, 3rd and 1, where they called a passing play. A lot of people were saying, why the hell don't you run the ball there? Look,
I was one of those people.
At least the clock keeps running on that play, but how many times have we seen this team try to run the ball on 3rd or 4th and 1?
Yeah.
And not get it.
It's a thing.
And get stuff. It's not like the running game was absolutely stellar. Isaiah Pacheco, and I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people and might hurt the subscriber count here, the viewership, but I feel like people think Pacheco's a lot better than he really is. He's a decent running back, and he runs hard and he fights for the hard yardage, but I mean, that dude has some of the toughest 5 and 6 yard runs you're going to see out there. And
he grinds them out, dude. He grinds
it out. And like Sky Moore earlier in the game had like a 20-something yard completion. He jumps up and looks like he did after scoring that touchdown in the Super Bowl. And there was a play where Pacheco picks up 6 yards and he's jumping up and down and super fired up. Those aren't big plays.
You know, devil advocate Sky Moore. I got to defend Sky Moore a little bit because I think he recognizes he's kind of on the chopping block, right? And so, he had what, like two targets, 3 targets, maybe even just the one. I'm drawing a blank right now. So I mean, when you have one for however many yards it was, I think it was 24 yards, his number. Right. So, big play. I mean, big play in any game, right? But like, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, man, like you shouldn't be celebrating a 23-yard gain like that, like he was. It just goes to
when
show,
you're on
like,
the chopping block, man. You're like,
they know like they're struggling.
I might last another week now.
Yeah, Brendan makes a good point. I mean, I wouldn't have running backs on my team. No, I mean, a guy like Pacheco's okay, and he's serviceable. They won the Super Bowl with Isaiah Pacheco last year.
He's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher this year.
Is he? Or 1,000 yards total?
1,000 yards.
What's he at right now?
That's 1,000 yards in a 17-game season. But
yeah,
I mean, he's an average to above average running back, which, I mean, that's all we really need, right? He's not
some second coming of Adrian Peterson, but he's a
Yeah.
good back. I mean, you saw that run he put where he pushed the entire pile. It's I don't know. It seems like we're not very good at run blocking. Is what it seems like. It seems like when
Sure.
our running backs are getting the ball, I mean, there's guys there, which I don't know. I'm not a offensive genius or anything, but
Yeah.
Dude, you guys need to go back and watch.
It seems like our guys get hit in the backfield a lot, and so he's getting hit at the line of scrimmage, and then, I mean, is it Mostert for the Dolphins? He looked good, but you saw the scheme was getting defenders out of the way on those runs, and he wasn't getting hit at the line of scrimmage. You saw the blocks developing and holes opening up that you don't really see for our running backs in our plays.
Yeah, you also saw Raheem Mostert get to the edge and make guys miss in the open field, which I just don't see. I mean, I
haven't seen that at any running back on our team in a while.
It just seems like there's this big thought out there, this shared idea that if the Chiefs just start running the ball more, the offense is going to come to life. I don't see that as being the case necessarily. Like,
well, okay, so I know what they're saying when they say that, right? They're saying when Isaiah Pacheco is getting 5-6 yards a carry, like, don't deviate from that until it's not the case. And I know even in this game he had a couple runs where he got stuffed to the line of scrimmage, right? But he still averaged over 4 yards a game. And like, when you do that, all you got to do is run the ball and you get first downs all day. I know you're more liable for fumbles and all that stuff, but like it's that I don't think they're saying like go to it when it's not working. I mean, that's obviously not the case what they're saying, but there is a case to be made when they just kind of like stop feeding him the ball and he's averaging 5 or 6 yards a carry. You're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think he averaged like 4 in the game against the Dolphins, which is decent, but that's not. I mean, the guy's not Saquon Barkley or Alvin Kamara,
sure,
or you know what I mean. And I just feel like,
but I think he's earned the 3rd and 1, right,
or something in the NFL, and he's just not. He's not a top 5 guy.
Look, he's a feel good story. He was a 7th round pick.
Sure,
he came in, he took over the starting position. He had some big plays to close out games for us last year. He performed well in the Super Bowl, right? He's a Super Bowl champion, so I get that people are high on him. Is he overrated? I mean, maybe, yeah, probably a little bit, right? I mean, he wouldn't be as well thought of on an average team with the performance that he has, right?
No.
To go back to our Week 9 podcast where we're talking about running backs, and it's like a completely different conversation. We're talking to like the way we talk about the receiving core right now. Like the running back core was like the woes. Like, how come we can't just get a good running back? And then finally Pacheco started popping off, right? So I mean, overrated, no, but like he fills that need.
Overrated doesn't mean it suck either.
That's true.
Sorry.
What's that, Nick?
No, you're good.
Because we're talking about 3rd and 1 when I came back on. Right, or 3rd and short.
Oh yeah, we're just talking about like the run game and this idea that I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on what you think the run. I mean, is it overrated? Is it underrated? Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, is that the key? Chiefs run the ball more. I mean, I don't see them busting big plays and big runs in the running game either. I mean, when the guy does get 5 yards, it's the hardest damn 5 yards you ever saw. He's breaking 3 tackles to get 5 yards.
That's fair. We didn't see that out of CEH though. You know what I mean?
No,
and like that's what I'm saying. Like I think he earned that 3rd and 1 right to at least give him a go, right?
Yeah. Get Brian Cook CEH's reps after watching him.
Yeah, get Brian Cook at the ball, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
you know what's hurting our 3rd and 1, right? What's hurting our 3rd and 1 play calls? That no team has to account for us to quarterback sneak ever.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like that like makes it so much easier on the defense when you don't have to like try to get a bunch of muscle right at the line of scrimmage to try to stop a push for a 3rd and 1. Like it just opens up the defense's playbook on what they're able to do. Like we
so this might be my
figure out this QB sneak thing. I mean, no, go ahead.
I completely agree. And this might be my own ignorance, but why doesn't that work with the tight end? Like, I mean, I feel like
it's aiding in our team being crippled down because it's like the high play. What did you say, Bo?
Kind of talking over each other. I don't know if you got like a delay going or something, but Bo's dropped out for a second here.
Yeah,
so.
sorry, my internet cut out there.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, so
Anyway.
I don't know. I just feel like there's this like idea out there like CEH is like a Pro Bowl All-Pro running back, and he's just not. Or I'm sorry that Pacheco is. CEH definitely isn't, right? But let's just get to the defense here. Let's talk about something good. Chiefs defense shut out the Dolphins in the first half.
Let's go.
14 points total for the game. This is a team that was averaging over 30 points a game. Outside of a dumb Chris Jones penalty, it looks like maybe they hold them to 10 points. That's 60 less than they scored against the Broncos. So I mean, think about that for a second. So the defense is, I mean, we've been talking all year, kind of every week goes by. Is this how legit is the defense? Is this sustainable? We're halfway through the season, and they just locked down the best offense in the NFL. They're for real. There's no more
real.
No more question marks. No more, is this smoke and mirrors? Is this a hot start? They got ballers at all three levels, man. I mean, they are working hard and stopping teams. They held Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson combined to under 100 yards receiving. The secondary is sick. Trent McDuffie is having a hell of a season. You know, people say, oh, he doesn't have any interceptions. Well, he's got 4 forced fumbles, and he locks guys down in coverage. The big play against Tyreek Hill, who's going to give us that work, I think was the comment from the Cheetah.
Light
Chiefs
work.
Still going to get this work or something like that. I mean, look, I put it on the Chiefs Kingdom Live Twitter account. Like, so does that touchdown that we scored on his fumble, does that count towards his receiving statistics for the Chiefs? Do you add one more touchdown?
Another long Cheetah touchdown
to his record here. What impressed you most about the defense, and what did you think? Well, we'll get to the big play here, man. Just overall, what impressed you most about the defense, Nate?
Yeah, I think it's you said it. You know, we can talk about the plays that the secondaries made. I think that underrated is that on 4th and 10 to close out the game. I know that Tua is bad snap. Dude, the dude was shitting his pants looking at the pass rush coming. I think the center was shitting his pants too. I think that like impacted that play to the point where they caused them to implode. I mean, so kudos to the pass rush. I mean, they didn't make Tua comfortable. He was missing plays downfield, right? He was, you know, people talk about Tyreek missing a couple catches. One of them was pretty severely behind him. I don't blame him for not making that grab. That'd be a really tough grab to make.
Pussy.
I think like Karlaftis was really making it difficult on Tua. He didn't really get to him, but he was forcing him to move around and stuff. So I'm saying the pass rush was a big part of what helped out the secondary in that game.
Yeah, I went back and looked at that snap. That wasn't that bad of a snap. It looked like alive.
No, and there were on him immediately.
Definitely a snap. Definitely a snap an NFL quarterback should handle. Bo, what stood out to you most about the defense and the way they played against the Dolphins?
I mean, Nick kind of nailed it, but the DBs for sure for me. I mean, limiting both Hill and Waddle to just not even scoring. I mean, they had to go to Wilson Jr. to get one in the end zone, and then, as you said, Mostert scores one off a really short field for a dumb penalty. Hats off to those guys. Like this offense was dubbed the game changers. The Dolphins are changing the way coaches have to approach football now. Mike McDaniels is this little genius and all this stuff, and we proved them wrong, man. I mean, I know it was an ugly game, but at the end of the day, holding those guys to 14 points, I mean that's a real big. That lies heavily on the DBs for locking those guys down, and then the linebackers. I mean, we haven't discussed the big play, so I mean the DBs are in that big play, but then the linebackers everywhere. Drew Tranquil, what an acquisition again! Like what we get these guys like a Dunlop, right? Like a Frank Clark. These guys that just come in and you're just like, where, what, who? All right, okay, cool. And then they're just absolute game wreckers. That guy's just been such a great find, especially with Bolton being out and taking over the play calling even in such a high strung defense too. That guy's just, I can't say enough good things about that guy. So yeah, the secondary, the DB, Nick already kind of pointed out the pass rush. I mean, all three phases just rocking on the defensive side.
To me, the thing that stood out the most was the tackling by the defense.
Yeah.
As soon as the Dolphins, even when they were open and they had a little bit of space and were catching passes, they were getting tackled right away. There was no yak out of Waddle and Hill and these speedsters. Mostert, he had a couple of nice long runs there in the fourth quarter, and that was a nice run on the touchdown that he had there. That was no gimme. That wasn't like he plunged in from the 1 yard line. But outside of a couple of plays there, as soon as those guys got the ball, they were on the ground, and that's really the key when you're playing speedy guys, right? Don't let them get that momentum. Like, you catch the ball, so they're slowing down to catch the ball, and then how many times have you seen Tyreek Hill catch a 10-yard pass when he was with the Chiefs or even with the Dolphins last 2 years and takes it another 50 yards for a 60-yard touchdown?
Right.
His jersey looked like he'd play for the Eagles after that game was over. His jersey was green. He was getting tackled. The big play. We'll get to that here in a second. Instantly, as soon as he caught the ball, had a guy on him and was tackling him. So, yeah, just solid tackling. Drew Tranquil, kind of dubbed him AAA on
I love it.
social media during the game.
Tranquil.
Dude, that guy has come to the rescue for the Chiefs this year. Covering for Nick Bolton, who's been dealing with a couple of different injury situations this year now. Dude, that one play that that dude, man, like, I'm not sure what happened there, but
all right, Scott's on bottom now.
Los Angeles. Now I'm back on top. The Los Angeles Chargers. They're cutting our feet out here, hearing us talk about Drew Tranquil and letting him go.
Live.
They just, old AAA to the rescue on that one play. He sniffed. That was going to be a big play, and he made the tackle. Made the tackle. What I was just talking about, tackling. Superb tackling by the defense. Good coverage. They did a good job of disrupting the timing. They didn't really get two on the ground a whole lot. They had 3 sacks? Is that right in that game? I want to say 3 sacks, which is still a good amount. But some games this year, the Chiefs had 5-6 sacks. So they were disrupting the timing, and they came out and they had a solid ass game plan.
Disrupting the timing it was so crucial, as Nick was pointing out with the defense, with the pass rush, right? That Tua is known to be the fastest release, right? He has like a 2.2 something, and like that was not happening with the way we were locking down the receivers. He was not getting that first look and being able to just launch one out right away. And I can't say enough good things about the way our defense handled that pass coverage.
Yeah, I just wanted you guys to know I saw this from Laney. I take that as an IT guy. I take that personally.
Right.
You just need some gold aviators and a gold Rolex, Nick, and you'll look just like
I'll wear some gold aviators until my team's down by 21 points in the first half, and then I'll take them off.
You really adopted that Miami persona, right? Just like,
yeah, he did.
Hide the eyes, wear gold.
He had that European look. He just needed a cigarette, right? Smoking a cigarette.
To me, he looks more like a guy who works at the vape shop down the street or something. Like McDaniels does, man. Like,
can I interest you in the smell-proof bags, man?
Right, yeah, exactly. It's kind of what the guy reminds me of. But talk about the big play of the game, maybe play of the season.
Game-winning touchdown. It's the play.
Strip.
A play so great, it will just be referred to as the play for this game.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't even a scoop and score. It was like a strip, scoop, pitch and score or something, man. Like, defensive hook and ladder. I don't know what you want to call it. Tyreek Hill after running his mouth. And I just want to say this. Chiefs Kingdom calm down on the Tyreek Hill hate a little bit. Did you see the guy yucking it up with the Chiefs players after the game? A lot of this isn't good fun. And he's talking about, when I score a touchdown, I'm going to tell Andy, I'm going to point to him and say, you shouldn't have traded me. Dude, a lot of the stuff he's doing is in jest. I feel like, and is in good
Yeah,
fun.
dude, but
People are
you're
taking
putting it
shit
out there to
personally, man,
millions
like,
of people, right? You're putting it out there to millions of people
calm
that's
down,
your
man.
position.
The guy's having fun, poking some fun at his old team. Chris Jones has poked some fun at him. He said the only deuces you'd be throwing up is on the way to the bus after taking that L, which turned out to be. Dude, Chris Jones, man, like that guy got a fucking crystal ball or something, because this dude makes proclamation and they come true all the time. But
Let's talk about Chris Jones. Elephant in the room. What are you guys' opinion about his play? Complete game changer, in my opinion. He shifted the whole momentum of the game, in my opinion, with that one play. I thought it was completely unnecessary. We've seen it from him before, and like kind of same situation where you're just like, and we kind of eked out a win. But we've seen it from him too, where it's kind of cost us a game, though. Like just the kind of unprofessionalism of it all, the timing of it in the game. Like you just got to have a better, like, take that out on him next time you're going one-on-one against him. Like, you're a big dude, you can handle that. Like it just seemed bad timing, pretty unprofessional, and man, just a momentum killer in my book. And as much as we're speaking up the defense, I got to call him out, man. Like that almost cost us the game.
Yeah, I was kind of going to get to that here in a minute, maybe when we talk about the referees and the. I thought it was kind of a lame call. What's up, John V? Good to see you, man.
John
Appreciate
V in the house.
But yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill, he he has the fumble, ends up being the difference in the game. Did you guys know Brian Cook was that fast?
No.
Dude, he was busting angles. Like, defenders had angles on him going down the sideline. He was high stepping, dude.
Tyreek couldn't even catch him.
Right.
He went full cheetah on the cheetah.
He did. He did go full cheetah on the cheetah. Nick, just what were your thoughts, emotions, feelings? The big player, Tyreek Hill fumbles and the return for the touchdown.
Yeah, like there's I don't know, back when Dante Hall was doing his thing, like they used to call it the no go. Like when I forget who it was that picked up the fumble, but he's trying to like toss it to somebody. You could tell for a half a second before he actually got it to Cook that he was looking for somebody to get the ball to. I was
Mike Edwards.
He got it to Cook, and somehow Cook, like you said, was busting angles. And then I was like, go, right? Dude, just going, just screaming at my TV, like just unbridled joy of a football fan, looking for the flags at the flag marker to pop up, like the inevitable. Oh, well, we got a blindside block that, we never call in any other team. You never see it except for when the Chiefs have a touchdown play. And it wasn't there. They reviewed it. I thought it's definitely a catch. It's definitely a fumble. So they're definitely going to overturn it. Just like they did in the Super Bowl.
I wasn't as confident.
Crying about this on the internet, by the way, which is hilarious. There's still Dolphins fans that are just like, this is what happened in the Bills game, and they called the play dead. And okay, well, they didn't call it dead, and you guys are down 21-0 in the first half. So like, maybe you should figure that out before you're worried about maybe hold on to the ball. Just don't drop the ball.
That's a catch. So, it was definitely a catch.
Catch and a fumble, man. If the cheetah, if you've seen him do it, if he breaks that tackle and he suddenly takes it for a 40-yard gain, you don't want them to say, well, his forward progress should stop. I'm sorry, that's not a play. So, I mean, it was just like that full gamut of football emotions where you're like excited, and then you're worried, and then you're really excited, and then you're just wondering if the refs are going to take it all away from you. And that's really kind of my experience of that play in real time. And then, like I said, apologizing to my daughter for screaming at the top of my lungs with her sitting next to me on the couch.
Did you put any money in the swear jar? That's all that matters.
I don't have a swear jar, and I don't know that. I think I was more like yelling like words like "go" and "yeah." I don't think there were.
I put expletives in front of those words.
Right. Yeah.
Bo, your thoughts on the play from the game, the big play?
Well, we're all sitting there texting each other, right? Like, man, defense is playing great. It'd be great if they came up with a huge play right here before half, right? And then just kind of like willed it into fruition, just like Then Nick, like as I said at the top of the hour, Nick's just like, oh, I'm so happy. Just hit the emotional hammer right on the nail. Just bam. That's how we all felt, just elated with joy. Couldn't have happened better to like. I mean, we've all know that like the Tyreek trade sucked at like Chiefs Kingdom. It's like a bitter breakup, right? Chiefs Kingdom hates to see him over there. He hates to be there. We all know it's like it's two-sided, but it kind of had to happen. And then like we realized like in Veach we trust, because man, his trades are just amazing. Like the trades we got for Tyreek Hill ended up being the kind of difference maker in that game. Seeing Trent McDuffie just not only read the play perfectly, but just jump the ball, strip him. I mean, I couldn't tell if he knocked it out with his hand. It looked like he stripped it out with his hand, but it kind of looked like his face mask a little bit too. Just said, just kind of bit down on the ball, got it out, dude. But like, and then, yeah, like just like Nick's saying, just so many emotions. I don't even know what I was yelling. I'm pretty sure my neighbors could tell me, but because I was yelling that loud, but so much fun.
Yeah, but now you're in Kansas City, so like your neighbors know exactly why you're screaming, and they're not mad.
Right.
Yeah, the cops aren't going to get called on me, right? The cops are going to come and just high five me, man. Like, all right, did you see that play? That was amazing.
That guy's a real fan over there. You hear that?
Yeah, no, yeah.
What about you, Scott? How did you feel when you saw that go down?
So at that point, I was getting a little worried because the Dolphins had kind of started to like get a little like mojo there at the end of the half.
No drive going.
The ball. And I'm thinking, dude, not fall asleep, because that was right after the 96-yard drive, right, where we get up 14-0. And then I was like, don't fall asleep here, give up a touchdown, and Dolphins get the ball to start the second half. And if they get a touchdown, now you're talking 14-14, right? But they stepped up. Just if you're Tyreek Hill, like I didn't feel sorry for the guy. But there was a little part of me that was like looking at him standing on the sideline after the play and thinking, man, that's got to be embarrassing as hell for that guy. Like, you talk all that shit and you run your mouth and then you like fumble the ball and it gets picked up and returned for a touchdown. I don't know, poetic justice. I don't know what the right term is to use for that. I don't get as upset about the Tyreek Hill talk and stuff as most people do either, though. So I was kind of like just having good fun with it. We were having fun with it on the social media account. Was like, was that this work you were talking about, Tyreek? Or I knew it was.
You were quick on that tweet, man. I was just like, did Scott have this one lined up? That came out quick.
Dude, it was. I had some Tyreek Hill tweets ready to go for this
Cook
game.
was crossing the goal line, and I was checking Twitter, and Scott's like, "Bam, this worked, bitch!"
Yeah. So, it's all in good fun. I think I was laughing, just kind of like it was. I thought it was more funny than it was really exciting. I was kind of laughing.
Dude, it wasn't like he talked like one or two jabs. Like he talked a lot of shit about this game, throwing up the deuces, poking Andy Reid in the belly.
Right. And just impressed with Brian Cook's speed. I mean, can that guy play running back maybe? Can he hang on to the ball? Damn, man. He was flying down that sideline fastest.
Running.
What's that?
How's his route running?
Yeah. Well, usually guys play in the secondary because they don't have the best hands catching the ball. But, I don't know. Get that dude in the backfield on a couple of plays.
Give him a little pitch. You can catch a pitch, right? Like just throw him little halfback sweeps.
Right, start giving him CEH's snaps in the backfield. I don't know, something, but that dude was flying down the field. Awesome play. Bo, you brought up the Chris Jones play. Let's just talk about that and the refereeing. Here's my opinion on that, okay?
Let's hear it. I'm so curious.
Watching the replay, it was actually a pretty weak push. Like, the guy.
But it was like 20 seconds after the fact.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that shit that goes on, man. Like, is it a dumb play for a veteran guy to make in that situation? Absolutely. But did they not call a late hit that was 10 times more blatant on the hit on Patrick Mahomes out of bounds? Literally, 3 plays before that? I was a little bit. I was kind of pissed that they called the penalty after letting the Patrick Mahomes shit slide, because I just felt it was not anywhere nearly as bad as the late hit on Patrick Mahomes out of bounds. And then the jackass on NFL Network, the rules expert, well, that's a borderline thing, and they don't want to they don't want to be blowing the whistle too early, and guy's not all the way out of bounds yet. His feet were on the white line. His feet were out of. He was standing out of bounds when he got hit.
He's not juking to stay inbounds. He's out of bounds.
Right. So what stupid play by Chris Jones, yeah, but was it something that I feel like you see happens a lot, especially in plays where there's a pile, right? And guys are continuing to strip the ball out after the whistle's been blown 13 times. I don't know. It just I was
Weak
upset with Chris
call,
Jones and thought it
yes.
was dumb, but upon second review and watching it, I didn't think it was really all that hard of a push, and it's not really something that you don't really see on a lot of plays after the action's over. Guys kind of pushing and shoving each other. So when you let the Patrick Mahomes hit slide, I don't think there's any way you can call that. Bo, I mean, what did you think about Chris Jones and the penalty and the refs?
Well, no, I agree with exactly how you put it, man. I agree it was a weak penalty, right? Like it was a weak situation. We've seen fights break out where helmets get thrown and no penalty flags come out, right?
Right.
It was a weak penalty in that sense, right? But at the same time, it was well after the play. There
Yeah.
was no back and forth. Like the guy wasn't even looking at Chris Jones. Chris Jones just said, "Rah!" You know what I mean? Just kind of said, yeah, just took his frustrations out on him, like plain and simple. Dude, like I'm just saying, like if you're that frustrated, wait till the next play, dude. Like get a penalty on the play. I don't know, like the whole after the play unnecessary roughness, 15 yards versus like I don't know, like there's just ways to get back at the guy. I thought it was just completely unnecessary in the wrong time, and then like I said, it completely shifted the momentum of the game. The fans that were on our side, you kind of heard them die out, and you definitely heard the Dolphins fans kick in, and then you just I don't know, as a fan, I felt the momentum change. You could just feel it, just like, oh shit, this was their path to stay in the game, and you just gave it to them. Whereas like if you just taken like an illegal hands to the face the next play, it's not the same outcome. Or I don't know, like it was just it's just petty to me. Like come on, man, like you're the one that made a big deal of this whole season, holding out on your contract. You're going to get defensive player of the year. Kind of hate to say it, had a real shitty game, if we're going to be honest. Like he wasn't a factor, and that might be because he gets double teamed all the time, but like he was a non-factor in that game. I would say Karloftis, Chanel, even Snead and Reed off the sides were way more productive than Jones was, and that could be again a product of being double teamed the entire game. But at the same time, you're going to make statements like I'm going for defensive player of the year, man. You got to make a case for it, and having one assisted tackle during that game is not making that case, and then having like that big of a penalty just isn't helping your case at all.
No. Nick?
That's not a penalty that you get when you're asking for $30 million a year.
Yeah,
And
that's
right.
point.
Right.
That's it. Look, everybody's human. I get it. But in that situation where you get a penalty that extends a drive, they're going to kick a field goal. They could miss a field goal. It could still be a 14-point game. But instead of getting at worst 3 points and it's still a 2-score game, the very next play they get a touchdown, and now it's a 1-score game, and you potentially are losing that game now, or allowing them back in that game to tie with the premier, one of the premier 1 seed opponents in the conference, where if you win, you have the tiebreaker over them. I mean, it's just beyond like avoidable and stupid to do anything that's going to get a penalty in that situation. And that's not a mistake that you can make and then turn around and say, I'm a person that you can bet a bunch of money on, and I'm going to come through for you. I mean, to me, that I don't want to take away from what he's done. Right? It's a regular season game, but man, it's a bad look. It's just a bad look, and it's just like if that happens and on second down on your side of the field or something, okay, all right, get your head back in the game. But I mean, it's happened twice now, and it's almost cost us 2 games. Cost us 1 game, right? The Colts game with Matt Ryan deal,
Yeah.
The infamous Colts
and I know
game.
that like him talking smack to Matt Ryan shouldn't be a penalty, but at the same time, man, like just be smart and get off the field, dude. Like the ultimate shit talk is when you win the game. And you can talk all the shit you want and be like, hey, yeah, you, and I know they're holding them and they're probably talking shit saying you ain't getting past us, saying all this stuff. You'd be like, hey, look, check it out. Enjoy the plane ride home after that fucking L. Like, like that's where you talk shit. And that's where but it didn't end up costing us too much. He's still a really good player. But I think he's been double teamed, I think 71 to or 78
ridiculous amount of times.
And he's still like top 5 in sacks for defensive linemen in the league. So wasn't his best game, but the double teams aren't helping. Huh?
Is he top 5? Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, in sacks. Yeah, I think, and that's missing a game. So, like, he's still having a really good season. And so it wasn't his best game. That definitely was something that I'm sure that he would tell you, like, I got to be smarter. But it didn't end up costing us too big, right? So, just be smarter next time, right? Definitely.
I mean, it's a good brush off, but it did cost it. Dude, I would say it cost us 7 points.
Well, it cost us 4 points at a minimum, right?
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying, like take out the field goal kind of thing. I'm saying like it gave them the opportunity to just run back and have a short field and on us and get a touchdown.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Going back to that Colts game real quick, do we really think Chris Jones said to Matt Ryan, "Get your old ass up," and they gave him a flag for that?
Well, supposedly there was some expletives added into the "get your old ass up." It was more like "get your old effing ass up, B" or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know.
Is that still a flag warranted talk?
I just think I thought it was such a weak fucking call after you don't call the bullshit on Patrick Mahomes, man. You know what I'm saying? But they called on him and not our guy. Chiefs get the win. 2 weeks off here between the next game, right? So Chiefs play the Eagles, Monday Night Football. Next week's show, we'll kind of preview that game some. Chiefs are 1-0 in Frankfurt, Germany.
The old family reunion bowl here next 2 weeks.
The Super Bowl, it irritates me, though. I'm not going to lie. When people call it a Super Bowl rematch, this isn't a Super Bowl rematch. There ain't shit on the line in this game, really. It's a non-conference regular season game. It's the same teams that played in the Super Bowl last year, but it's not like if the Eagles win this game, they get to claim half the Super Bowl title from last year or get a leg up on this year's Super Bowl.
Not getting revenge even if they win, right? I mean,
yeah, there's no revenge there. It's not a rematch. They might be a rematch later because they're both the number one seeds in their conferences for this year. So, what do you think about the Germany game? Did you like the Germany game? Do you dislike the Germany game? Indifferent? Nick, what do you think?
I mean, I might have felt different about it if we had lost and it was supposed to be a home game. But I'm fine with it. I think the international games are cool. Like, what really helped change my perception of it was when you started going on Chant Club and I started seeing those guys that are diehard fans that and then they, I think Carl and I don't know if Nick went, but I know Carl went to a game.
Oh, Nick went to a few, yeah.
Yeah, like, look, it's cool for the fans over there that they get to see, teams play and that they got a premier game too, right? I mean, this is a premier game in the AFC this year that they had on the road. I have a coworker that lives in Frankfurt. His friend is a big fan of the NFL. I got a couple pictures that sent from the stadium. Scott, I sent those through. I don't know if you post them on Twitter or not, or on the X account, but we may throw those up there. So, I think it's cool. I wasn't a fan before. It's a little bit easier to stomach now that they have the 9th home game for one of the teams, right? So as long as one of the teams has a 9th home game, like you're not really like losing a home game because they added one, right? So I think that helps make it more fair. And yeah, I'm a fan of it. If they do like it's good when they center it around a bye week, right? Because if the Chiefs had to do that and then turn around, it seems like a little bit unfair, but I think it's neat, man. It's cool. I mean, the Chiefs have won, football games in 4 countries now. The only team in the NFL to do that, right? That's pretty dope.
Yep.
That's another one to the record books.
Patrick Mahomes, first NFL quarterback to beat all 31 teams and win a game in Germany. No, I was kidding.
I think he's the first quarterback to win in like 3 international stadiums or 4 international stadiums or something like that.
Something like that. I mean, the guy's just gonna. He's a man, and we talked about it in the offseason when they announced this game. So that was just gonna be a tough game, and kind of leading up to this game, there wasn't any way Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to go to Germany and win the game. Like he was going to win the entire time. He was going to find a way to do it. So let's do this week's poll before we get out of here. Like I said, we'll break down the Eagles game next week, so we'll get a good analysis of that. When do we think the Chiefs play in Germany again? They're definitely going to play there again sometime. I mean, they've got exclusive marketing rights and some broadcasting setups there in Germany with a couple other teams. They're, defending Super Bowl champions. Patrick Mahomes, face of the NFL. There's some other teams that have some similar deals and are trying to get that reach over there in Germany and Europe, but they don't have the success or the profile or the star power that the Chiefs have. So, they're Germany's team right now.
Yeah.
How much longer before you think you see the Chiefs play in Germany again? I'd be interested to see what everybody thinks here in the chat. The poll's still active there over on the CKL X account. You haven't had a chance to cruise by and vote yet. This one's closer than I thought. I almost didn't even put next year as an option because I didn't think there's any way they would make them go over to Europe 2 years in a row. They've done that to the Jaguars in London, but Jaguars aren't a Super Bowl contending team. Let's go to Bo and then go to Nick here. Bo, when do you think we see the Chiefs playing back over there in Germany?
I voted next year just because we're the draw right now. We have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce taking over Swifty Nation, Andy Reid just kind of taking over the head coaching slots, just setting records left and right, being like the winningest coach with 2 franchises, setting every kind of record you can think of there. We're the draw. We're what you see, right? If you're in Europe and you're a casual viewer, man, like you're paying attention to like 4 or 5 teams right now, right? And the Chiefs are definitely that team. They're the favorite to win. When you go to a sports bookie anywhere in the world, they're going to tell you the Chiefs are the favorite to win. So everybody's watching them. Should we win the Super Bowl though? Like I could see us being the team that travels abroad to promote the brand a little bit. Unfortunately, like at detriment of the Chiefs. But like to Nick's point, as long as you have an extra home game and it's not like you're sacrificing that travel game as like a true home game, especially when you have Arrowhead as like, the competing, the X factor there. I can actually see us going there sooner than like what we did. What was it like? No, this was the first game in Germany, but or no, was it? No, we played there. I thought we played in Germany like 6 or 7 years ago.
He's played the Lions in London 5 or 6
yeah,
years.
Okay, yeah. I mean, but like that's the point. Like they just have the brand, they have the recognition. They're the team, right? So they're the team that's going to go. The Jags kind of have that just for being close. Maybe a New York team will probably play one of those if that's on the schedule next year, but. Yeah, it's us, man. Like this would be the same case if it was the Patriots 5-6 years ago before Mahomes entered the league and Brady was the shit, right? Like they would be the team traveling across the pond. So yeah, I voted next year.
Nick,
I said 2 years. I don't know that they've ever made a team. Well, maybe the Jags, but go 2 years in a row.
They usually stay away from that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it was a success, right? I mean, you saw the stadium was full. Tickets were hard to get. I think that on a resale market value, like I heard that my buddy's friend paid like 350 euros a ticket for the tickets that he got. So I mean, that's just quite a fetch for some tickets on. So I mean, there's a demand, right? So.
I would have thought they'd go for more than that. Honestly, that's still that's not a lot of money, but still, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's the euro going against the dollar right now. Like
I don't know, I haven't looked at it in a while.
Like
it was 1.5 to 1 there for a while.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like $500 a ticket. I mean, that's
Man.
That's what the Eagles game is next week or 2 weeks from now. It's $500 a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I picked 2 years. I think that it's like we're the team that has the license for the marketing or whatever. So we're kind of like the unofficial home team of Germany, I guess. I think it's us and the Bucks, right?
Let's take it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Let's take
awesome.
over Germany.
So I think probably you'll see him over there every couple of years is what I would guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure because here's the deal. Okay, like so the Chiefs had 9 home games this year, so you can sacrifice the 1 home game and your fans still get the 8 games. Next year, the Chiefs only have 8 home games. The Chiefs are not going to play 7 home games in Arrowhead next year. So,
But they could be the team.
Yeah, but are you going to go there as the away team when like you've got the championship out there in the river outside the stadium, and most of the people in Germany are Chiefs fans now because of how good they are and how much they've been marketed and promoted over there?
Yes.
Another team's going to give up a home game to go over there and be the visiting team to the Chiefs in Germany. I just don't know how. Do they do that to another team? Does another team even agree to that?
I mean, maybe
Does it make a difference when you're like sorry, go ahead, dude.
I was gonna say maybe it's one of these shitty teams, kind of like when like some nobody school will play like OU for the first game just to get some money. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I don't think they pay any. I don't think they pay the home. That's the other thing too. Is like that stadium only held like what 45,000 people. I mean, it's not a big stadium, so
Right.
whoever the home team is, when you figure in the travel costs and everything and the lower attendance, now maybe you get more per ticket, so that offsets some of that. But I'm really, man, like I know they want to get the Chiefs back over there soon, but I don't want the Chiefs playing 7 home games next year. And then the
Right.
following year, as a season ticket holder, I want that extra game at home, that 9th game. So I really don't like. I don't know. I mean, the Chiefs, so they just never play 9 games at Arrowhead ever again because they sacrifice every home game every other year, the extra game every 2 years to go play in Germany.
It's part of the gig when you start winning the trophy, man. Like you gotta, they still gotta start evening out the.
I mean, they didn't do that with any other
competition
team that's won the
somehow.
trophy. I mean, the Patriots
Yeah,
might have gone there one time, but they didn't go there every year.
Sure, but arguably football's way bigger now than it was when the Patriots were in their
Is it?
dynasty.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it
man.
is.
Like they sold that shit out. Okay, but going back to that point though, when like here in the States, when like I see Manchester United play like Leicester City or like some like exhibition match against AC Roma, it doesn't make a fucking difference who's the home. Nobody cares who's home team. You're like, dude, I'm watching an EPL match here in the States right now, right? Like, I don't think the teams recognize it as like a home. Like, maybe the Chiefs actually would, right? Being as popular as they were in Germany, it would still kind of be a home game. Like, dude, that chant came through so the chop
Right.
came so clear.
Yeah.
So you think the Chiefs are only going to play 7 games at Arrowhead and give up a home game next year? I don't see that happening.
No, but
And
like
they can't
I could see him being an away team
because they're going to be the home team. Like,
well, I could see him being an away team in the sense that like it doesn't matter when you go over
Well, we're
there
playing
who's home or
SoFi
away
too.
if you designate it.
but I mean, you just made the point how loud it was, how many Chiefs fans there were there. So that kind of does matter. I mean, it would be like an extra home.
Well, then
game
it would
if they
be-
did, I guess.
Then it'd be like a road game you traveled that like the
Hey,
Chiefs fans
hey,
traveled
if
to
they-
really well.
Look, if they want to give the Chiefs as the away team in Germany next year, I'll take that because that'd be like getting 9 home games again next year. Really?
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, I think there's only an upside to it.
Like playing another team over there as the visiting team. That shit just ain't fair to like the other team, whoever it is that they're playing. Maybe they don't care.
You got to
But-
even it out somehow, dude. Like you got to give the team that 3-point advantage when you're the home team, right? Like
I think it's a little while before we see them. I don't think it's next year. Maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. I'm gonna be pissed though if in 2 years when the schedule rolls back around to where we get the 9 home games, we only play 8. I'm not gonna be happy again. And maybe by that point, maybe they've gone to an 18-game regular season and everybody plays 9 and 9. You know what I mean? So you're getting all the home games anyway. I don't know. You get 9 home games every year. So if you sacrifice one every other year, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see. But Yeah, I mean, most people seem to be like you all think they'll be playing over there again next year, which
I think that what you're going to see is that I'm not going to say within 10 years, you're going to see every team plays one international game a year.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
yeah.
Okay, maybe
Especially if they
not
go to
Germany,
18
but I
games,
could see us going to Europe for sure
right.
next year.
Especially if they have
Maybe
an
not.
18.
But
Yeah.
you see,
Especially if they go to the
specifically
18
Germany.
regular game season,
Hmm?
regular. Especially if they go to 18 regular season games.
Yeah.
From
Right.
17 for sure. Definitely see that, but
Is that down the pipeline? I haven't heard that.
They want to, but I think that
yeah,
it bodes
they're going to.
I think it's bodes more in favor of having the lopsided home schedule, because then you're not really losing a home game, right?
Well, of course you are, because they would have played that game at home this week instead of over there.
But
So,
not
yeah,
if
you
they only have that game on the schedule because of the international gameplay that they want. I think that's why they added it, right?
No, there's lots of teams that have 9. Every other team in the AFC
Right
except
now.
for a handful are going to
Yeah,
go
right
over there
now.
and
But I
play.
think that eventually you're going to see that literally every team is going to be playing.
Yeah, it could be. That's a long ways down the road, though. I mean, we're just talking the next 2 or 3 years. I don't think that happens in the next 2 or 3 years.
What you're saying and what Nick's saying is kind of lining up together, though, right? Like, if there's an 18 game season down the pipeline, that seems like it makes plenty of room for every team to make a travel, like even not to like Europe, but like down to Mexico, maybe even up to Canada and the CFL. Try to capture that crowd, right?
Right, and like I said, maybe they do take the Chiefs over there for an away game next year. Instead of playing 9 away games, they play 8 home games and 8 away games in a international. That's going to be a home atmosphere, home as close to home game as you can get without being an Arrowhead for the Chiefs. Anytime.
Dude, now that I think about it, I could actually see being like the Chiefs being the away team in Mexico, right? And being like against LA, because LA would be like the closer. So like, yeah, they're the home team kind of thing or something, but like something
they played
like
the
that.
Chargers there in Mexico, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So
yeah.
But I feel like the Chiefs, all their international games are going to be over there in Germany, where they've been spending this money promoting and advertising and trying to build a fan base.
One man show brings up a great point, dude. If we're a defensive team, though, I don't know that we start traveling. It's not much of a show.
No, yeah. Look, the Chiefs aren't going to be like a defensive team forever. They're going to address this wide receiver issue in the offseason, and they're going to get somebody. They're not going to sit here and be content with being a middle of the pack offense with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback for long. So they'll do something. They'll turn this wide receiving room over. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Worst case scenario is like we have the youngest defense or second youngest defense in the NFL. So like we can just go draft heavy on offense for a while.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting to see. So we'll find out next time the Chiefs play in Frankfurt and who the opponent would be. I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule for next year. I know they don't have their team opponents, but they have the divisions planned out. I'm trying to think, which NFC division do they play next year? They played the NFC. They played the NFC North this year. Last year it was the NFC.
We played the Giants last year.
No, that was 2 years ago. Last year they played the Rams and the 49ers and the Cardinals.
Yep. So it's the West.
NFC West last year, NFC North this year.
And then it would have been the East year before that. So it'll be West, right? Or South, excuse me.
Yeah. So it would be Saints, Bucks, Panthers.
We got it, one man. Thanks, man. We got it. I appreciate it.
We got to it, baby. We got to it. Teamwork.
3 years and some teamwork. We got it.
I bet they play an NFC team the next time they go over there.
NFC South. I don't know who you would like. Who would be the show?
What's that?
I don't know who would be the show in the NFC South if you travel to play a team against somebody in the NFC South.
Yeah, I don't know. Saints maybe. They're
maybe
team with the especially after the Katrina stuff happened. They won the Super Bowl, and Drew Brees kind of put them on the map. They're pretty well known. I mean, that's a pretty well known team that has a lot of fans all over the place. So, Chiefs Bucks maybe, yeah.
Chiefs Cowboys.
I can see that.
Chiefs Panthers.
That would be amazing. I would
We'll have
love
to get
that
together
game.
with our guy JT and go over and watch the
That's
game.
who's hoping he's still on there.
I'm not sure if our man JT's still with us or not, but he probably got tired of listening to us bitch about our first world problem with our first place.
Yeah, we win all the time,
Super
but we
Bowl
don't win by
defending.
enough.
Yeah. With your
Our team's
Super
not
Bowl defending
performing the way I
champions,
want
first
them
place
to.
in the conference team, and you're bitching about your offense, your wide receivers aren't good enough. Defense is carrying the team this year. There ain't no doubt about that.
No,
wild
and I don't
thought.
think anybody on the team would like disagree with that anyway.
No, I don't think any fans would disagree with it either. I mean, that's a
When
wild
Mahomes
statement.
in his post-game comments is saying, "We're gonna figure this thing out on offense. I promise you that." Like, I mean, he's like saying, "This isn't good. It's not good
Right,
enough."
what's he gonna say though? These guys suck, and we're gonna have to wait till next year. I mean, even if that's what he's thinking, he's not gonna say that. So, anything else you guys want to talk to before we get out of here? Anything we missed? I think we covered it all pretty well.
No, yeah, Chiefs were good. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going around in the league, but
Yeah.
this is what it is. If you're in our CKL Pick'em League, don't forget to make your picks. I threw out my back last week and forgot to make all my picks, so I am now 14 games behind everybody, but only moved down one spot. So come on, everybody in that Pick'em League. We need to.
I
I
thought
I was going to be last.
I think Big Doug's still in there in the lead.
And one behind him.
Nick's one behind him. I think I'm a
Dylan
couple
must have
behind
taken
him.
stupid pills. I picked the Jets over the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just hatred for the Chargers or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like
AFC
looking at the
West
pick and
bias right
like I was
there.
talking to Big Doug on the phone. I'm like,
Doug's making a
was
great
like-
point.
I was
No,
like,
no
why-
Laney
why
live
did I
guest
pick the
spot
Jets?
tonight.
Well, I mean, Laney's no game to pick or anything like that. I don't know what Laney would.
I mean, we could get her pick for 2 weeks from now. Because will she be there next week? Should we get her on a live spot next week? I don't know. Is it running into that time?
I don't think Laney will be in town next week or next Wednesday. So
Got to run down and give us a Philly prediction, Laney.
get the prediction machine going. I don't know if she's gonna come down or not, but there's someone coming down the stairs, but I don't think that sounds like.
There it is. All right.
Wandering around
And-
upstairs.
You got some friends there staying there with you, Scott. What they got some picks for this Philly game, and we can kind of go over some picks. We'll go over the game more in detail next week, the preview. But there it is. Hey-oh, the weekly Laney guest appearance. Welcome.
Yeah, turn your phone down. Just reverberating.
Hey guys,
Hello.
how are you?
we're pretty
Doing
good.
good.
7-2.
Doing great.
That's
Sorry
good.
we're not there live with you today.
Me
Been a
too.
crazy
That
week.
would have been fun.
Yeah, been a little crazy, but Nick wasn't even sure if he was going to make it on or not, and Bo's, recuperating, getting that back right.
I'm gonna get one of these golf clubs out tomorrow and try swinging it tomorrow. See how that goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could go good or bad. I guess you're going to find out.
Could be laid up for another week, or I could be good to go.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to give your pick for the Eagles game.
Not yet.
Oh well, I thought that's why you came down
I
here.
just came down to say hi. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, that is completely fine. We just,
I'm hot.
you've been giving your picks all week, our past couple of weeks, so we thought we'd get your pick in case you weren't here next week.
Do we play at Arrowhead or?
Yep, at Arrowhead Monday Night Football
Oh,
against
shit.
the
Monday Night
Eagles.
Football against the Eagles.
Hmm.
Super Bowl rematch, the Family Reunion Bowl, the Kelsey Bowl, whatever you want to call it.
34-20 Chiefs.
There we go, locked in.
34 against the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
All right, what's the over/under on brotherly shoves in the game?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that stupid ass play. just like it's just the lamest shit ever. Like, you want to do quarterbacks, that's fine. You shouldn't be allowed to have 6 guys get behind him and just start fucking pushing him forward.
Bye, Laney.
Laney's calling it a night here. So, yeah, you want to do quarterback sneak? Fine. You shouldn't be able to have 6 guys line up in the backfield behind him and just shove him forward. I think that's lame, personally. I mean, I wouldn't like it if the Chiefs were doing it. I'd say it was lame if we were doing it. If it was benefiting us as much as it was them, I would still be like, that's kind of.
Would you, or would you be riding the wave like, dude, this thing's working. It's not broken. Nobody else can fucking do it in the league. We got something that nobody else has.
There's other teams that can do it. They just haven't done it. There's other teams that do it.
They can, but they don't. They don't do it like Philly's doing it. And then now Philly's doing like the fake shove or like the hard count shove. Like, there's different variations to this shit now. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I'm jealous. I'm just jealous because our quarterback won't do it.
Get a bunch of guys in the backfield and push the guy forward. I don't know.
Yeah. So look, when you have a play that everybody knows you're going to run, and like you run it, and it's unstoppable. I think what turns people off, it's not about if it's an ugly play or not. There's something that's like unsportsmanlike about that, right? Like, it's like you have a cheat code. And, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's unsportsman. To me, it's not like skill based. It's not something that is.
Well, I mean, it's skill based because I've seen other teams try to do it and fucking.
I've seen plenty of teams do it and it works, though. I mean, it's not like they're the only ones that ever do it, and it never works for anybody else. There's plenty of teams that do the quarterback sneak, and a lot of them don't do it like they do, where they get 6 fucking guys in the backfield. They get 2 tight ends and 2 running backs shoving the guy forward. Like, that's the problem I have with it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't see a lot of teams doing that. I know, like, I see teams running quarterback sneak and it works, but I don't see it doing like.
I'll be honest.
That's a guaranteed yard. Like, we
try to do it like where it looks like they're going to kneel the ball down and they've got the guys that shove the quarterback. I have not seen a team convert other than the Eagles. Maybe they do. I don't watch every game, but I've seen 3 or 4 other teams try it, and it didn't work. Right? The Chiefs tried to do it on a fake field goal. It didn't work. I mean,
yeah, I've seen a
yard deal.
I've seen a lot of teams do a quarterback sneak.
It didn't work. I think I saw the Cowboys try to do it and it didn't work. But
so why can't we do it with a tight end then? Like, what is it that's magical about a quarterback grabbing the ball versus a tight end that we can't do it at all?
Done it, I don't think
but then the Eagles can do it every play.
I don't think I've ever seen us have 4 guys in the backfield start shoving the quarterback forward.
Yeah, look, and so one man show's talking about, that the offense couldn't push the ball carrier not too long ago. Look, if they're going to allow the play to continue, then they need to allow defenders to be able to push the linemen. They need linebackers can come in and push the defensive linemen. I think that's the big deal, is that there's like this significant mismatch where they said, hey, you can't push the defenders from behind of the line because, it's a player safety issue, but like now it's fine on offense, like, and it's not a player safety issue. So like either they should even up the rules. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, but I don't know.
I think the frustrating thing is like that's like our worst stat is when we're 3-1 and we can't convert 3-1. We convert 3-2. We can convert 3-3 and 3 and long, any other number, but 3-1, we're statistically worse in the NFL on offense out of all plays.
We saw like, get a concussion, but like I'm gonna say it, like it's time. They gotta bust out some sneaks with Patrick Mahomes. It's hurting us on short yardage on every other play because like they don't have to account for it. And until we can QB sneak on short yardage plays like that, I think we're gonna continue to struggle. It's not all the struggles, but it definitely changes how the defense plays. Like if you look at, I don't have it pulled up, but I sent it to both of you guys, or I sent it to maybe just to Scott. That like if you look from the end zone on that 3rd and 1 play, there's nobody lined up in front of the center.
Well, part of that too is the package. They knew they weren't going to run it because Isaiah Pacheco wasn't even in the game. Not only did he not get the ball, he wasn't in the game. And some of it is they know the quarterback's not going to
Patrick
sneak. But
Patrick Mahomes could have snuck. They know he's not going to do it. He was under center.
yeah, I mean, but he didn't have anybody around to like protect him. I mean, he basically would have been a runner, and they could have drilled him because he wouldn't have had a wall of guys like in front of him. So I don't know. The formation definitely kind of tips it off to whether it's going to be a sneak or not too. So I mean, teams definitely realize, I guess, that they're not going to do it, but I don't know. I saw like 5 guys in the backfield shoving the guy forward. To me, that's not like doesn't take any kind of imagination or like skill set to do that. It's just we're gonna get 6 really strong guys behind this guy and just shove him forward, and he's just gonna hold on to the ball and like get pushed.
Sometimes that's like the meat and potatoes of football, though, right? Like you had to get the skill set to get those other 9 yards, right? So this is just that 1 yard. It's like, dude, and it's guaranteed. Like there's no other team that has a guaranteed 1 yard play, like guaranteed. Maybe not even. I won't guarantee it 100%. 98. I know they call themselves the 92 percenters. I think it's way higher than that. Those guys are getting it. Goddamn,
So
9
do you think
10.
one man shows right here? Because I've been thinking the same thing for about 2 years now, where I'm like, well, they're going to bust it out when a high leverage situation, nobody expects it, but they just have not done it.
I mean, it's gonna have to be probably maybe a playoff game or the Super Bowl or something. But I don't know.
Goal line situation only, right? Like I don't see it just for just a first down.
Yeah, no, it's gonna have to be like at the goal line. But then again, I think they're probably gonna set up to stop that at the goal line because you got so many defenders in such a short field to defend anyway. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's 3rd and 1, and they're at the 30, and they have to get a first down to keep a drive alive to win the AFC Championship again. Maybe you see it. I'm also kind of against putting Patrick Mahomes in harm's way. You already saw the issue with the knee. You already saw Brock Purdy hitting the dome and getting a concussion from it. So, I mean, there's some risk to your quarterback.
Yeah, no, there's
in that
definitely.
play. You're putting him in a big pile of humanity with guys jumping and grabbing and diving and trying to cut legs out.
But to my point earlier, why what's so special about a quarterback doing? Why can't a tight end be there and have the quarterback be the one being one of those 5 guys pushing? Have the quarterback be on the outside pushing, push with my fingers, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've tried it with Blake Bell and some other guys, and I don't think it's really worked all that well. But again, they don't have the guys in the backfield shoving the guy forward. That's
Tom Brady did it 400 times, right? One man show says it right here.
Yeah, but that's not.
That was his special. That was like the Tom Brady special. Like that is the
they definitely did do it, and he never got hurt. But doesn't mean you couldn't have gotten hurt just because you didn't. So I don't know. Something to keep an eye on for sure. But
do you think we see the tush push come first or the behind the back pass, Nick?
For Mahomes?
Yeah. Do you think we see a QB sneak from Mahomes first, or do you think you see him throw a behind the back pass?
Any tush pushes with Mahomes. So I go behind the back pass.
I don't even think. I don't know. I hope we don't even see that play. Scott, what do you think? You think you're going to see a behind the back pass or the tush push first?
Man, probably the behind the back pass.
Damn it! I have to go that way too, just because I know how risk adverse Andy Reid is to trying to hurt his quarterback. So I'd have to say that too, even though that's what I don't want to see.
Right? They have to call the QB sneak or tush push. Like they don't have to call the behind the back pass. Mahomes could just decide to do it and then be like, "It worked." On the sideline, or it didn't work. Sorry.
All these hook and ladders are working this year. Right?
Too, the brotherly shove is a way better name than the tush push. The tush push sounds stupid. I just don't. People got to get away from that and start calling it the brotherly shove. That's
all I'm going to call it is a tush push.
I mean, I know you're
the one ragging on it. You're saying you don't like it. You don't like 5 guys pushing.
No, I mean I don't like the play. I don't like the play. I
Dumb.
don't like the name. I don't know.
But the tush pass, I'm not aware of that one. Is that like a Mark Sanchez deflected off your
fumble?
I'm gonna start.
No, I know, deflected off your O line's ass cheek and have it hit somebody in the hands. I don't know what the tush pass is.
Yeah, I kind of like that. The weak sneak. That's what I'm.
The weak sneak
play. gonna trademark the week sneak. Maybe
I'll retweet it. Put
maybe
it
I
out
can get
there.
on.
I
Maybe
like
I can
it.
get on new.
I like
Maybe I can
it.
get on new heights. Maybe if I
The
tweet out
weeks.
that thing like, I think week sneak's better. See what they say about that. Probably not.
They
gonna
love
work.
that shit too much. Their fucking followers are called the 92 percenters. For God's sakes, like they're not gonna call it the week sneak.
No, I mean I would get on there and get ragged on and made fun of incessantly, but it'd be worth it. It'd be funny still. I mean, get the
Let me
show
know
some
when you
support.
do, man. I'll tune in for sure.
Just
Yeah.
get Travis Kelce to hate our show.
Right, that'd be good. Yeah. Hey, at least you know about it at that point.
There you
Anyway.
go.
He's on his way
such
out.
thing as
That's what
gonna happen,
every Chiefs hater is saying. He's on his way out. He's old. He's not doing anything anyway. He can hate on our show.
Yeah, he's doing just fine. So
That's not what we're saying here, Travis. We think you got another 10 years in you, big dog. Let's go, Big Yeti.
He's got 2 years prime. He had one bad game against the Dolphins where they were double and triple covering him. The guy just lit up the Chargers the week before for what, $160 and touchdown. Like he's fine.
Yeah. It's the reason Jerick McKinnon scored is because they were triple teaming him as he was coming across the field, and Jerick McKinnon's like, "Oh, nobody's gonna cover me. 20 yards right in the end zone, pretty easy. This game's easy."
Exactly, John. Fame at all costs. All it cost to me was my dignity.
Sneak tattooed on your face, then.
All it cost me was my dignity.
Just the number one tight end in Chiefs history, hating on you.
Right. Hey, like I said, at least you know about the show then. So get no such thing as bad publicity, but we're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody stopping by tonight. Big Doug, Shippy, John C, One Man Show, Brenda.
There's a John V in there.
John V. I saw our man, Supply Chain D's
Kevin was in there.
Kevin was in here. Everybody was up in here tonight. Really appreciate everybody stopping by and saying.
Yeah, thank you guys for the support.
We'll be back next week to preview this Monday Night Football game against the Philadelphia Eagles, the non-Super Bowl rematch at Arrowhead. Bo, don't spend $500 on tickets. We'll figure something out.
I'm about to, man. I got my folks coming into town, so I don't know if your tickets are even going to work. So
he can sell you his for $498. Don't spend $5.
Yeah,
don't spend $5. Yeah, for your $4.95.
$497.50.
Good deal.
Okay, I'll cut you. You get the friend discount, Bo.
Friend price. These are friend
price. These are friend. Yeah, these are friend prices here. So appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure if you haven't subbed already, you're doing that because the giveaway is going to happen here pretty soon. Make sure you want to get in on that watch for short video. We just reposted on the channel to see how to make sure to enter. We got some cool shit that we're going to be giving away. So you want to get in on that. Tell friends.
Ask John C how good that Joe Stack rub is. He'll testify.
Good stuff. John C, he'll tell you. So really good stuff we're going to be giving away. Looking forward to it. Thank you again to everybody who swung by. We'll be next week. And even though they don't play, let's go Chiefs.
Right. Let's go Chiefs.
Opening up a can of whoop ass feels like.